comfortable to get uncomfortable. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something a little different. We are going to talk about injectables. I feel like this is a topic that is super taboo because everyone has an opinion about it. And you know what? You're entitled to your opinion. I am somebody who believes that whatever you want to do to your body is your business. And if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. And you can have an opinion about it, but I don't know. Opinions are like assholes, right? Everybody has them. But I am a big proponent on personal choice across the board about everything. Personal choice about anything, everything, Alabama. Anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about everything that I've had done to my face and every injectable I've ever had, and I'm going to break it down to you. I actually just recently paid a visit to the Medi Spa, and I just got some fresh injections, which I hadn't gotten in a long time. So I just figured it's kind of on my mind. We've been doing a lot of anti-aging content here, and by anti-aging, I mean preserving your youth as long as you can. We're all aging. We're all going to age. It's a fact of life. There's nothing wrong with that. But when I say anti-aging, I simply mean just, you know, looking as young as you can for as long as you can, because if you take care of yourself, you can. Is injectables the way to do that? You know, that's personal preference. Honestly, it really, really is. I am doing it. I'm doing it, okay? And I'm going to tell you about it. So, if you have any negative thoughts, feelings, comments, concerns, I would encourage you to keep those to yourself. If you have constructive comments, concerns, and conversation, I would encourage you to leave comments below. So, without further ado, if you would like to hear about all of the fillers that have gone into my face, or all the injectables that have gone into my face, my experience, my thoughts, and as much information as I have to give you, then keep on watching. All right, let's talk. It's my channel. This is my safe space, and I feel like if I want to share, I'll share. And I don't know what the right words to say are about negative trolly comments, but I'm not here for it. So if you have something shitty to say, I'm gonna block you in probably less than 5 seconds. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about what I've had done to my face. I actually just got this form emailed to me, which is exactly what I recently had done. But I want to just talk a little bit about some of my prior experiences. Now, I am 43 years old. I have been talking about that a lot lately, more than I enjoy. But we've been talking about age a lot, and I'll leave a link to some of the videos down below if you missed them, talking about beauty and aging, or aging in the beauty community, talking about my makeup tips over 40, talking about skincare rules that I swear by, and answering questions about how I look younger than I am. But we're going to talk about Botox and filler, because that is a part of it. You know, some people might say like, oh, that's cheating. I don't think it's cheating, and here is why. I started doing Botox when I turned 34 years old. So we're going on 9 years of Botox. And when you're in your early 30s, you don't need a lot. But what happens is, you know, and this was my mentality, okay? I'm not a doctor, so let's keep that in mind. But this was my mentality going in. If I prevent myself from furrowing my brow, if I prevent myself from making those expressions that over time create deep grooves in my skin, if I'm not doing that, do I have makeup on my shirt? I do. That's annoying. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not going to have those creases and those wrinkles. So I started by getting just a couple of units of Botox right here, and a couple here, and a couple here. And what that did over the years is literally what I thought, which is prevent me from making those expressions that are going to cause the deep lines. So now, fast forward, I'm 43, when my Botox wears off, I can make those expressions, and like in a couple videos back before today, like if you go to my last, like, I don't know, 5-6 videos, you'll be able to watch my face and you'll see like when I raise my eyebrows, which I'm doing right now, and you can't tell because I told them to freeze my face. Usually they won't. Usually they're like, you need some movement. But I'm like, no, I don't want any movement. Freeze it. But anyways, if you look back at a couple of the older videos, you'll see like at the last few, because I think this is like the first or second video or third video that I've shot after my appointment. But if you look back at a few videos, you'll see like me making the expressions, but you'll still see when I'm not making the expressions, I don't have any wrinkles. I don't have any lines in my face. And so while I have Botox on my face right now, so I'm not making the expressions, the Botox is not getting rid of wrinkles and fine lines for me right now, because without it, I still don't have them. But what it has done over the 9 years is prevent those wrinkles from ever taking place. So like right now, if I were to say stop Botox permanently, in a couple years, and it'll probably take a couple years, but in a couple years, I'll have those wrinkles. I'll have those fine lines for sure. Because Botox is basically keeping them at bay. You know, it's preventing the thing that causes them. So that is why I started doing it at 34, because I wanted to get ahead of it. Like I wanted to do it before I needed it. Like right before I needed it. I think you can wait till about 35, 36 even, honestly. If you're in your 20s, do not waste your money. Don't waste your money. You don't need it. It's not helping you. It's just pissing money in the wind as far as I'm concerned. Like I see girls doing it when they're in their 20s and I'm like, that's just a waste of money. Like, why don't you just open the toilet, throw your money in and flush? Like that's what it is. Plus, once you start doing it, like it's addictive. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, when you're seeing a flawless face and you're not having wrinkles, like especially like at my age, like I start making those expressions when it wears off and I panic. I'm like, oh God, I need to get it fixed. But like I went, I don't know, 6 months in between appointments. Usually I need to go 3 because I start seeing movement and I'm like, ooh, it's time. Like I said, I don't want to make those expressions. But this last time I went, actually, it might have been longer. It was October. And I just now, end of May, got it done. So there's that. I'm still not getting a ton. But I do want to talk about different kinds of neurotoxin, because that's what Botox is. It's a neurotoxin. There are 3 different versions. There is Botox, there is Dysport, and there is Xeomin. And that begins with an X. So they are different companies. Allergan is obviously the biggest one, and they make Botox. And then you have, you know, your fillers, which is Juvederm and Restylane. And again, those are 2 different companies. Botox, Allergan makes Juvederm, and I don't know what, the same company that makes Dysport makes Restylane, I believe. So it's really all just personal preference. I find that when I use Dysport, it lasts longer on me. Botox, I'll go through very quickly, and it all is how fast you metabolize it. So if you have a really fast metabolism, these are going to go through your system very quickly. I want you to bear in mind that these are not permanent solutions. This is a temporary thing. So if you get it and you don't like it, you let it wear off and you're done. And you never have to do it again. It's like not a big deal. And then with the filler can always be dissolved. So all they have to do is inject the filler and it will instantly dissolve. filler is made of hyaluronic acid. If you guys are not familiar with hyaluronic acid, it basically is like a water magnet. You have hyaluronic acid in your body already, so you're putting something that already exists in your body into your face. So, and again, it's temporary, so like whatever, right? So for me personally, I don't have a preference on the Juvederm versus Restylane situation, but I do prefer Dysport over Botox. And also, I don't like Xeomin at all. I had it one time and it did nothing for me, so I just avoid it. I don't like it. A couple of problem areas on my face for me. I have 2 lines right here, and you can't see them now because I got them filled, but they are genetic. I have had them since I was young. It is not an aging thing at all. It's something that's bothered me most of my life. I did get called out on them on a set in my 20s. A DP, I was filming something and a DP was like, can we do something about her face? And I was horrified, and I was young. So I ended up, once I started doing Botox and finding out, like when I was in my early 30s, figuring out like I really liked it, I was talking to the nurse about the lines, and she had told me, yeah, we can fill those with, you know, Radiesse or Juvederm or whatever. Now, Radiesse is another filler. It's denser, and it also will help your own body produce collagen. So it is good for like really deep stuff. So I put Radiesse in them and it filled them. But the thing is it didn't fill them all the way. It just made them look a little softer, a little less obvious. If you look back in some of my videos, you will be able to see them. They are, when not filled, they're deep. It looks like somebody cut my face with a knife. It's just a source of insecurity for me, and it's my face, you know? So when I started to get filler and realized that I could lessen it, then I was all about that life. So I've been doing that, I don't know how many years, honestly. Like, it wasn't right when I started Botox, I don't think. I think it was like a couple years in, so it might have been like 35, 36 maybe. And Radiesse does last a lot longer than the other fillers for me. And again, this is all based on your own personal metabolism. So a lot of people ask me like, oh, how long does it last? And I can't tell you, because it's not going to be the same on you as me, because our bodies are different. So they give you a rough estimate, like, oh, you know, X amount of product is supposed to last 9 months, but like on me it might last 6, you know? So you got to take that with a grain of salt. You've got to kind of trial and error it, like get the injections and then pay attention, you know, to the timing, and then you'll kind of have an idea of what your body's doing. I don't want this video to be too long, but I want to get through everything. So another area on my face that is a problem area is here. Now, right now, you're not going to be able to see it, but once again, if you go back to old videos, you'll be able to see it. I burned myself with a curling iron right here, probably about 6 or 7, no, it was 2011, I think. So like 8 years ago, I was in a hotel and I tapped my face with a curling iron and it left a nasty scab and it sucked, and it ended up leaving this kind of like indentation in my face right here, which is so random, and I don't have it on the other side. So I've tried to fill it with Juvederm and it just looks like a lump there. And I tried to fill it with Radiesse and it didn't really do anything. Nothing really got it to disappear the way that it is disappeared right now, until I was recommended by Cosmetic Laser Works, which is where I actually go right now, and I'll leave their information in the description box. I go to a place in Beverly Hills. I've been going to them for years and years and years. I love them. Robin is amazing. You can tell her I sent you. She'll take care of you. She's awesome. But anyway, so she had recommended to try Bellatero. Bellatero is a very thin consistency. It's a filler as well, but it's much less dense than all the others, so that the way that they inject it, it can really just sit right under the skin and fill an area without looking lumpy and bumpy and weird. So This last time I got Bellatero here, it's also, Bellatero is really great for filling in these lines here, the marionette lines. I had those done a little bit too because my lips tend to turn down, and I was getting those. That's an aging thing. But anyway, so Bellatero is another one. So those are problem areas on my face. These lines here and that scar here and a little bit right here. And this is from age, and the other two things are not. So now let's get into what I've had done. Okay, so here's my chart. So this is what I had done this past time. Oh, and one other thing that's a problem for me and my face is my lips. So my lips, obviously I've had my lips done. I don't know, if I have an old photo of like my lips without filler, I'll post it here. I can't guarantee that I do, but if I do, my lips are asymmetrical. So this side of my mouth is much straighter and this side is rounder. So, and you, sometimes I line my lips and I can't see it in my own eyes, but then I'll play it back in the camera and I've overlined too much on this side that goes straight, and then I make it look worse. And that happens to me all the time. But this time, I think she did a really good job. I don't know, we'll see when I play it back if I'm like horrified because I overlined a little bit too much. But yeah, I have an asymmetrical lip situation. So I will go get a touch-up periodically just to try to even things out. That's like my biggest concern. I do, obviously, over the years, they're bigger than my natural lips because I've just had filler over the past several years. I don't know, when did I start getting lip filler? It wasn't until I was like maybe 38-ish. Like, I didn't start that young. I wasn't really concerned that much with them. It started as just like a corrective thing, and it still is a corrective thing, but you know, it doesn't all go away all of the time. I mean, if I had them dissolved, it would all go away right now, but you know, I put a little bit every once in a while and it just adds up, you know. So here we are. I'm okay with where my lips are right now. I wouldn't want them any bigger. I'm not looking to have like huge lips or anything. Most of the things that I have done are for corrective reasons, not for age or vanity. Well, corrective is vanity, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's not because, like, if my lips were perfectly even and everything was cool, I would have never done it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's talk about what I had done this past time. So like I said, I do Dysport. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but see these X's right here all on my forehead are all the injection sites that she did for the Dysport and down here. So again, I have it here, I have it across here, and then I have it down here. I had 118 units of Dysport. Now the thing with Dysport is you need 2 times, for every 1 unit of Botox, you need 2 units of Dysport, I think. So I think 118 is the equivalent of half that. So it'd be like almost 60 units of Botox, roughly. That's where I'm at with that. The Bellatero I had it again here and a little bit right here. She used 0.9. I did Restylane on my lips, and she did 1 milliliter. Oh, and then in my cheeks here, we did Voluma. Now, I tried Voluma the last time back in October for the first time to address these lines because I wanted it, and I was doing it on top of a little bit of leftover Radiesse because that was like fading and you could see the lines in my face. But they wanted to try Voluma instead of Radiesse because they felt like they were going to get a better result, and boy did they ever. Like, Voluma is the shizzle when it comes to like filling in something like that. I just had Voluma put in, and I mean, can you see those lines in my face? Because I can't. And this is probably the very first time in my whole life that I can look at my face and I don't even see really very much of a trace of them. Just a tiny bit I can see where they were, but they're not there at all anymore. And that's like a first for me. I'm so happy with that. You have to be careful about how much filler you put right here because I always can tell on somebody like when they've had too much cheek filler. you are going to get a little bit of a trough here because you're extending this out, and that becomes very unnatural. Like, I still have a bit of swelling, so like if I turn to the side, you may be able to see like how it's still jetting out right here and creating like a deeper trough right there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but I can. But you know, it takes about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for all of the swelling to go down. So like I still have a little bit of swelling. I just got this done like a week ago. But I don't have a ton of bruising and stuff. I never really do. I've never been one to bruise. I see photos of people with like a bruised up face, and I don't know. I don't know if that's like your personal chemistry or how they're injecting you or what. Sometimes I'll have a tiny faint bruise. I did have a tiny faint bruise last week on my lip. Right here, just a tiny one, but it only lasted like 2 days. And I will say this, I drank a shitload of coffee before my appointment, and I do not recommend doing that, because obviously if you drink too much caffeine, you're going to bruise much easier. So did I give you everything? So I had 118 units of Dysport, 0.9 Bellatero right there, and Voluma, what did I have? I had 1 ml of Voluma spread in both cheeks, so 0.5 and 0.5. And then my Restylane, I had 1 ml, so I had 0.5. I probably had more like 0.75 on the top, and I just did a tiny bit on the bottom just to even things out. So that is what I had done. I don't find any side effects. One thing I will say that happened this time, and I mentioned it in the video today, the video I shot earlier when I did this eye look. The nurse had asked me if I wanted her to, the way I wanted her to inject, that it would lift my eyelids so that I wouldn't have a hooded lid, because as you get older, you start to get hooded lids like everybody does. It's just gravity, like shit is falling, you know? So I'm starting to get a hint of a hooded lid. And I was making a joke about it, and she was like, oh, I can inject it so that it will lift that, right? And I told her, I was like, I don't want the Spock eye. Like, you know when you see people who have Botox, but this part of their eye lifts and nothing else, and so they look like Spock? I'm like, don't do that to me. I don't want that. I don't want the side to be able to raise, because it's happened to me before, and I hate that. You just look mad all the time, you know? So she said, yeah, she was going to do that, and I don't have that, thankfully. But she said that she was going to lift it so that it would raise up my top lid so that I wouldn't have a hooded lid. And I don't know if it's because it all hasn't kicked in yet. But like right now I feel like my lid looks so much worse. Like it looks so much more hooded than it did. And I have like this weird crease happening that I didn't have before. So you have to be careful. I mean, I probably should have just left that alone. You know, I just said, sure, yeah, if you can. I've never tried that before. And, you know, sometimes it is trial and error. So sometimes you'll try something and, like I just did, and I don't like it, so I'll never do that again, you know? So the next time I'll say to her, like, whatever you did to try to lift my lids so I don't have a hooded lid, like, let's not do that ever again, you know? And it's just, you know, trial and error. I tried something new, I don't like it. But it's going to wear off, it's going to go away, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not, like, permanently stuck with these hooded lids. I mean, my lids are going to get hooded anyway, let's be real, so it's fine. Maybe it's just prepping me for the inevitable. I've been fortunate enough where I've never had a bad experience. I've never regretted any of it. People there, you know, you have to know who you're going to, because there are people who don't know what they're doing, and you don't, it's dangerous. Like you can, if somebody injects you incorrectly, they can really mess you up. So I really encourage you to research where you're going, make sure that they know what they're doing, check their work, make sure they're licensed, and really don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, know what you're doing, know what they're doing. Don't go in blindly and then walk out and then be like, I wonder what they did, and I wonder if it's going to work, and when am I going to see results? And like, just ask a ton of questions. If you want to know, like, the science behind it and the anatomy behind it and all that stuff, look it up. There's so much information on the internet. There's videos, there's so much information. Just be educated, because this is not, I mean, you're injecting your face. This is like a big deal. You know, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to be smart about it. There's nothing wrong with it if it makes you feel confident. I am a big proponent of confidence. I feel like everyone deserves to feel confident. So do what makes you happy. Don't listen to anybody else. You don't need it to be beautiful, but if it makes you feel confident, like I don't feel like I need it to feel beautiful, but when I look at my face and I don't see those lines, it makes me feel more confident. And I feel like we all deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's just my personal thing. And if you're not into Botox and filler and it's not something that you're down with, don't do it. I feel like you should do what's best for you. I just wanted to share just in case anybody else is curious about it or thinking about it or wondering about it. Like I said, I'm using Botox as a preventative measure to help slow the wrinkles from forming as long as I can, you know what I mean? The other stuff is more corrective, again, except for this right here, like these two little, I just had a tiny bit in there. My turkey neck that I got going on right here, that's like something that's coming in. That's like my one sign of age, I feel like. Like that's the big one. Because even my hands, I feel like aren't showing my age. You know, they say like your hands are the first sign of aging. My hands don't even look old or anything. It's just I have this right here that's coming down. Like I have muscle loss there or something. And so but there's really not much you can do for that. Hopefully they'll come up with something someday, but like I was told, like if I want to get rid of that, I gotta get a facelift, and I'm not cutting my face. Like that will never happen. Like this is what I love about fillers and injectables is like it's so non-invasive. I'm not somebody who wants to get surgery on my face. Like I'm not. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's just not something that I feel comfortable with. So I will suffer with turkey neck, I guess, until they come up with something that will lift that bitch up without having to use a knife, you know? Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. I just kind of put all my insecurities out on the table for you guys. So I hope that it provides you some value and you can take from it what you want and toss the rest. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you never miss when I upload a video. You can follow me on social. My handle's @GLAM_LATTE. And don't forget the GLAM Latte Beauty Podcast because we get into it. I mean, you think that I'm being like straight up now. Like I go like pretty deep on my podcast, like and talk about like just my opinions and just things. And I feel like that is just like, I don't know, it's weird. It somehow feels like a safer space to just verbally vomit. So if you guys are into that, head over to the podcast. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and CastBox. All those details are in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, for watching, for being supportive. I love you so, so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.